Yesterday we left off with getting the sky in, erasing the sky where the city in perspective is. We added in the Big Dipper, and every day as we open up, we want to close out the promotion, bring the history down, and extend the layers, unlock the background layer. And today what we're going to do is add a brick wall here. So we have to run up here to Google, open a new tab, and type in brick wall. I go to images and I grab one that I like. I wait till it's done loading. I right click, I save the image as into my file, and I'm just going to rename it brick wall. I can close that out. Now instead of, when I want to add something new, an image, instead of going to new layer right here, I'm going to actually open an image as a layer today. And I'm going to go find my brick wall. And it's right there. I zoom out just a smidge, grab my move tool, and move the brick wall over a little bit. In order to make this wall a little larger, I'm going to edit and free transform. When I resize this wall, I need to hold down the shift key so that it stays in proportion as I make it larger. I click anywhere on the page and I want to apply the changes. Then I want to edit and free distort. This way I can get the wall to look like it's in perspective. We're going to drag the corner here, drag the corner down to this corner, bring this corner up to line it up with the wall that already exists, and bring the bottom corner down to line up. Yes, apply the changes. I need to make it a little smaller so I can go back and free distort it one more time to get it down onto that line. Now the wall looks like it's in perspective. I come over here to the toggle layer settings and I change the opacity so I can see through the wall. Now I want to erase where the window is at. So I go to my eraser, choose a brush. I like to choose a large one. And now I can erase right along the window here, into the corners, down around the edge here. I'm going to grab a square, 61, a large square, to come down along the wall here. To get rid of the rest of this image of the brick wall on the inside, I can grab my marquee tool, which is right here, or my lasso. I'm just going to grab my lasso, go around the part that I want to get rid of, and hit delete on my keyboard. And there it goes. Click in the gray area to get off that tool, grab my eraser again, just to clean up any other parts that did not get cleaned up. I changed the opacity back to 100%, and now I have this lovely brick wall in perspective on the building. While on this layer, I'm going to take my color picker tool, which looks like a little ink dropper, and I pick the color of the brick. I go over to my city background layer and I apply that color. I have to go back to layer 2, the brick layer, sample this color right here from this brick, go back to my city background, and then grab my paint bucket tool. I forgot to grab that, and that way I can just drop the color into this shape right here. Now if this is the lightest part of the building because it's facing perhaps the sun, back here I'm going to change the color and make it a smidge darker. Choose that color, okay, and now I'm going to paint this side of the building with a darker color since it's not facing the sun. Go back to the color, choose something maybe a little darker, And that can go on this side of the building since it's further back, hidden by the sun even more. Go back to that color and it allows me to get it a little bit darker. Choose that color, say okay, and this can go right there on that building. I do want to pick this color on this side of the building and put it over, grab my paint bucket again and put it over on this building right back here. Change color again to something a little lighter for the front of the building. And there we have all buildings. This one has brick in perspective because these lines go back to the vanishing point on the horizon line. And I have these three buildings back here in the background just with brick color on it because they're in the distance and we don't see that much detail when it's in the distance. So here we have the brick and all these buildings colored. The next thing we're going to start now is I'm going to take my paintbrush and I want to paint over these lines. I'm going to make sure that I have the correct color. I'm going to cancel this, get my color picker again, select the color on this side of the building, zoom into it, move over so I can see exactly where I'm working, grab my paintbrush, and now I can paint over the horizon line that goes through everything in the picture. I'm going to grab a hard edge brush here so that I can just erase what's in here. Color that in a little bit more, erase this line in here. I'm not really erasing it, I'm just painting the same color over it. I am going to grab my paint bucket tool and fill this in right here and fill this in down here. I can go back to the brush and fill that in. Go back to the color picker tool, choose this color, grab my paintbrush with that same color on it, and go right over that line. That will make the horizon line disappear. But I always have to remember to change the color. Now I'm going to do this side of the building. So I select this color with the color picker, go back to my paintbrush, select the paintbrush, and now go over the horizon line here. I can go over some of these other white spots too. Over here should be the same color, so I can color right over those. Just brush right over those, and this is getting rid of that line. I do want to get the paint bucket in here and drop the color here and there and right in here. I will get my color picker again, select this color, get my paintbrush, and paint over the horizon line that is there that I don't want to see. Last but not least, the color picker on the back side of the building here. Grab my brush again and go over the horizon line. The next thing we have to do is let's drop some color onto those windows. Most of the time windows appear as though they're a bluish turquoise color. So I'm going to zoom out, go back to my color selector here. I'm going to go into this blue area and I'm going to choose a light, almost turquoise. Let's get more into the blue-green area. Select that one. And then I can get my paint bucket and just drop this turquoise blue into the windows. Oops. If you make a mistake like that, all you have to do is hit Control-Z and that undoes it. Drop it in there, drop it in both of these, and then of course, because this side isn't hitting the light, what you're going to want to do is choose a little bit darker shade, and it's going to be here. It already helps me, it gives me a lot of different tones there. And drop this color in each of the windows over on this side of the building. And last but not least, we're going to go to the back farthest building, choose a darker color yet to drop into the back. So I go back over here, pick a darker color yet, darker teal, there it is, I say okay, and drop it into these 4 windows back here. And we have what looks to be 3 brick buildings in the distance with windows. I don't think I'm going to go back and erase these lines out of the windows because it actually looks like it's part of the windows. So that's okay for them to stay, almost like window panes. Then of course I go back to my neutral tool, my move tool, make sure I'm on the top layer here, go to File, Save, and this is only the second day I've been working on this. So as soon as it says okay, takes a while because there's a lot to remember here. There's a lot going on in each layer. As soon as it says okay, I'm going to change this to City in Progress Day 2. The format stays as a PXD, and I'm going to select OK as soon as that comes up and save it to my file.